Hopkins here. This is our first lesson from home, our first video lesson in the virtual art room. And we're gonna go ahead and do Loopy Birds, and that's a lesson that I have for kindergarten through second grade. I'm gonna put the standards in the description of the video, so if you're on YouTube watching this, just click the description. You'll see the standards that we're gonna be learning. And our objective is pretty simple. Kindergarten through second grade, we just wanna make sure that we can use the art supplies safely to create a Loopy Bird painting. Ooh, yes. It looks backwards for me, but hopefully it doesn't look backwards for you. So make sure that you take a look at that. Awesome. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. We're gonna use my awesome camera point of view rig here. I'll zoom out so you guys can see what we've got going on here. So I'm gonna film with my phone, just sitting at my kitchen table. Right now, the kids are hopefully taking a nap and we don't have too many interruptions. All right, let's get going. All right, boys and girls, let's get started with our Loopy Bird painting. Your objective for this is I can use art supplies safely to create a Loopy Bird painting. So safely is that key word. We're gonna take care of the art supplies that we have at our house, just like you would take care of them in the art room. So I'm gonna use a marker, and notice where I put the cap. For this Crayola marker, because it's washable, they have these nice little caps that go on the end. Hopefully your markers do too. It's very important that you don't lose those marker caps because your marker will dry out. I'm gonna do a loopy line. This is the first of the loopy lines that you're going to be drawing today. And that loopy line goes all the way around the perimeter of my paper, and it connects back where you started. And then you're going to put that cap on, and I need to hear that click. Okay, click it or tick it, you know the rules. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna draw the birds, and we're gonna do three shapes that are pretty easy. They're circles. I'm gonna use my crayon to draw them. And you just want to place them somewhere spaced out in the center of your lined frame, okay? If you put them all close together, you're not going to have enough room to put the details. So I try to make sure that they've kind of equally spaced. If you make their bodies too small, you're not going to have room for their little wings and their little eyes. So this is just the big body of the bird. And I'm using a black crayon because I know that water on this black crayon is not gonna mess with it. If you don't have a black crayon, you could use a pencil, or you could even use a Sharpie if that's okay with your family at home, because these are also waterproof. That means water is not gonna mess up that Sharpie, just like it's not gonna mess up that black crayon. So the next thing I need to do is decide where these birds are gonna have their beaks facing, because that's gonna tell me which way the birds are looking. And we're just gonna do a simple shape, a triangle. So this guy, I think he needs to be looking over here. This one, I'm gonna make him looking down. And this one will make him looking over here. So the birds are looking different places. You could add 2 eyes to your birds, or you could just add 1 eye. That's gonna change the way the bird is facing. This one looks like he's looking up. This one looks like he's looking down to the side, and this one's also looking up, but you see more of the side of his face. We're gonna go ahead and add some legs to our birds, and this is where they could get loopy. I'm adding some wiggly lines and some little birdie feet. This one, I'm gonna make them kind of bending and just some little birdie feet. I just do 3 little lines for their feet. This one right here. And notice that I'm keeping those feet and those legs inside of that frame, okay? For this birdie, we're gonna do a wing, and this is going to be a teardrop shape, okay? The same thing for this one. Now this one's a little bit different because I decided I wanted him to looking up at the sky. So I might only see part of the wing here and part of the wing here, because I'm looking at this bird from a different perspective. These guys, they're on the side, but he's a little bit special. So now that you have the birds and you've drawn all the lines and parts of the birds, it's time to add the feathers, and that's what makes them really fun and really loopy. So I'm gonna draw some curly, loopy feathers for their heads. This one's just gonna get them on top of the head. And also they need to have some cool tail feathers. I can go into this space for this bird, or I can go up here. This one, I don't have a lot of space, so it's gonna have to go down here and in front of his legs. And that's okay. We'll take up that space there. Maybe we'll even add one in here. He can be really fancy. And this one will have to go this way. So there's my cool birds. And they look really nice right now, but we're gonna go ahead and add some color. How we add color, there's two ways you could do this. If you had some of these awesome watercolors at home, you could use those. Those are Crayola watercolors. They are washable too. I do have these at the house, but I'm not gonna use those today. But you could use those. And they work really nicely with the crayon. You just color right over top of them with this paint, and the crayon shows up just fine. I'm actually gonna start with my markers. Now we already started with that marker line around the outside, just leave that alone. I'm gonna go ahead and choose the color that I want for their beaks. A yellow would be a really good choice, or you could also use orange. You could use both, it's up to you. I'll just stick with yellow for now. And I'm just gonna fill in that color. And there are some beaks. Did I click it? Make sure you listen. Gotta click it. So right now the birds need some color, and here's an easy way to do this. I'm gonna pick red for this first bird right here. I'm just going to trace the bird. And I'm gonna trace the lines that I did. So I'm going right over top of that crayon. I'm not gonna go over his legs because I don't know if I want those to be red. Now if I wanna use red on every bird, I can, but I'll use a different color. I'm gonna make this guy in the middle a little bit different. Let's go ahead and do a green bird here. I'm leaving some of that white space, that way that you don't have to use a ton of marker. Kind of save your marker for future art projects. And I'll show you a neat trick. And that last bird right here, I'll go with that like big purple. I'm using the edge of my marker to make those thick, bold lines. Okay. And there I have it. Make sure that thing gets clicked. This one didn't make a big click sound, but it feels pretty tight. So right now, your birds look pretty cool. You could have colored them in with marker, but we're gonna go ahead and save our marker. And I'm gonna teach you a new trick. Maybe you can teach somebody at home. It's just a plain cup of water and the paintbrush that came with that Crayola paint. So it's just a regular paintbrush, nothing fancy, it's just a regular cup of water. I'm going to show you with a frame first. So I'm gonna take my wet brush and I'm just gonna go over the frame, and that was a blue. And I'm going to just trace with my paintbrush. And it does something really cool. It takes the watercolor markers, these are water washable markers, and it kind of spreads the color out onto the paper. Now I don't have a very thick paper here. I just have a piece of computer paper because this is what we had at home. So don't use too much water, but you can get your color to spread out. It makes it look really fancy. Just kind of like, ooh, there's something special going on here. A little bit of extra glow around your frame, okay? And make sure that before you change colors, you always clean your brush because you are kind of using paint. So I'm gonna go on to the red. And just with a touch of water, I can fill in some color onto that bird. I'm gonna do the same thing on the feathers and change colors as I go to different colors. Change my water, clean my brush. Now when I'm using my water cup, I clean it and I wipe it. Tapping is no, no, no. Your mom and dad, nobody at home is gonna want you tapping because you'll splatter your brush. We need to practice our proper brush cleaning, so we always wipe that brush on the cup. Okay. Be careful not to get any water in the beak, or your yellow or orange, whatever color you picked for them, will start to spread out. Don't forget to sign your name. And if you followed all my directions, you're gonna have an awesome Loopy Bird picture. I can't wait to see what you guys have done. And when you share your pictures, I'm gonna be so proud of you. All right, guys, I will chat with you soon. And I hope everyone's doing well. Have an awesome day.